Namaskar viewers, hello and welcome to Sansad TV. I am Teena Jha with the news, your one stop for all that's happened across India and the world through the day today. As always, let's begin with the headlines this Saturday evening. India and Nepal signed 4 agreements. RuPay card launched in Nepal. Rail travel between Jayanagar in Bihar and Kurtha in Nepal also flagged off. India and Australia conclude interim trade agreement. Thousands of Indian products to get duty-free access. Prime Minister Modi calls both nations natural partners. Summit meet between President Ramnath Kovind and Turkmenistan President in Ashgabat. 4 agreements including cooperation on disaster management signed. Sri Lankan President declares emergency in the wake of demonstrations over economic crisis in the country. Bail granted to 21 of 54 arrested protesters. And the President, the Vice President and the Prime Minister greet people on Ugadi, Gudi Parva, Chaitra Shukladi and Cheti Chand. Wish everyone good health and progress at the start of Hindu New Year. A quick look at the other important news of the day today. Delhi Disaster Management Authority decides not to levy penalty for not wearing face masks in the national capital. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin meets Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal in New Delhi. Petrol and diesel prices hiked by 80 paise a litre each. Total increase amounts to 7 rupees 20 paise per litre in the last 12 days. Decision to withdraw AFSPA from major areas of Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, a revolutionary decision, says Kiran Rijiju. 12 people killed and 25 injured in bomb blasts in Afghanistan's western province of Herat. Many of the victims were children playing in a field. The United Nations says warring sides in Yemen accepted a 2-month truce. Turkmenistan to promote implementation of stalled 1800-kilometer Tapi gas pipeline. US President Joe Biden nominates Indian-origin civil rights lawyer Kalpana Kotagal and public accountant Vinay Singh to key positions in his administration. Conference in Dubai discusses measures to tackle climate change, asserts need to increase use of clean energy sources. Australia to face England in the finals of the ICC Women's World Cup on Sunday. India and Nepal have further consolidated their political and economic relations. At a summit-level meeting in New Delhi on Saturday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Nepalese Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba stressed on having a constructive approach to tackle challenges facing the bilateral issues. Here's a report.
India and Nepal released a vision document on power sector cooperation after a summit-level meeting in New Delhi. It will help Nepal generate revenue by selling power to India.
हमने अपने सहयोग के विभिन्न पहलुओं पर चर्चा की, विभिन्न प्रोजेक्ट्स की प्रगति की समीक्षा की और भविष्य की रूपरेखा पर भी विचार विमर्श किया। हम दोनों सहमत हैं कि हमें पावर सेक्टर में सहयोग के अवसरों का पूरा लाभ उठाना चाहिए। हमारा जॉइंट विजन स्टेटमेंट ऑन पावर कोऑपरेशन भविष्य में सहयोग का ब्लूप्रिंट साबित होगा।
In view of the Nepal's high potential for hydroelectricity generation and export, it is important to have broad understanding in power export cooperation between our two countries. So cross-border power trade remains a priority agenda during the discussion. I am happy that Nepal-India joint vision statement for power sector cooperation that we have agreed upon today, the mutually beneficial cooperation on hydroelectricity generation, transmission, cross-border.
Both nations signed 4 agreements. They will facilitate Nepal's entry into the International Solar Alliance, supply of petroleum products and technical cooperation in railways, as well as sharing technical expertise in the petroleum sector. In addition, 4 projects were launched, including RuPay card in Nepal, the railway link between Jayanagar in India and Kurtha in Nepal, the 90-kilometer Solu transmission line and 132 health facilities in Nepal.
भारत और नेपाल की दोस्ती, हमारे लोगों के आपसी संबंध, ऐसी मिसाल विश्व में कहीं और देखने को नहीं मिलती। हमारी सभ्यता, हमारी संस्कृति, हमारे आदान प्रदान के धागे प्राचीन काल से जुड़े हुए हैं। अनादि काल से हम एक दूसरे के सुख दुख के साथी रहे हैं।
Prime Minister Modi and Nepalese Prime Minister Dahiya also emphasized the need for dialogue on issues related to the boundary. Dahiya is on a 3-day state visit that started on Friday. He will visit the Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi on Sunday before leaving for Kathmandu. Akhilesh Suman's report for Sansad TV.
India and Australia on Saturday also signed the India-Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement. In fact, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal and Australia's Minister of Trade, Tourism and Investment Dan Tehan signed the pact at a virtual ceremony. Under the agreement, Australia will provide duty-free access to more than 95% Indian goods in its market, including textiles, leather, jewellery and also sports products. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal said the agreement will help increase bilateral trade from $27 billion to about $45 to $50 billion in the next 5 years.
We are removing trade barriers and opening a plethora of opportunities in both goods and services, which will lead to a doubling of our trade in the near future. We expect at least a 1 million job creation in India in the next 4 to 5 years.
This agreement will evolve, it will continue to grow, and it will continue to ensure that
Labour-intensive sectors like textiles and apparel, select agricultural and fisheries products, leather, footwear, furniture, also sports products, jewellery, machinery, electric goods and railway wagons will benefit from this agreement. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison were also present at this occasion. Prime Minister Modi described the occasion as a watershed moment in the relationship between the two countries.
सचमुच एक वाटरशेड मोमेंट है। हमारी अर्थव्यवस्थाओं के बीच एक दूसरे की आवश्यकताओं को पूरा करने का बहुत पोटेंशियल है। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि इस एग्रीमेंट से हम इन अवसरों का पूरा लाभ उठा पाएंगे।
The Australian Prime Minister said these agreements will further strengthen the India-Australia relations. Listen.
Some $282 million in new initiatives that my government has announced, including at the summit, which will drive our expanding cooperation. This is the single largest Australian government investment in our relationship with India, but it won't be the last. And now we mark another milestone in that relationship.
Moving on, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has underscored the need for progress in the design of 10-ton Indian multi-role helicopter to become a global leader. At a function on the occasion of Diamond Jubilee of Chetak helicopters in the year, the Defence Minister said in the wake of unfolding global events, the centre is focusing on self-reliance in defence production.
भारत एक ऐसा देश रहा है जिसने शस्त्र धारण नहीं किया है तो शास्त्रों की रक्षा के लिए किया है। शास्त्रों का मतलब ज्ञान, शास्त्र मतलब हमारे सिविलाइजेशनल वैल्यूज, यानी शास्त्र मतलब सत्य, अहिंसा और शांति। किसी प्रकार की आक्रामकता भारत के चरित्र में कभी नहीं देखी। पिछले कुछ वर्ष की परिस्थितियां आप देखेंगे तो पाएंगे कि शांति, सुरक्षा और सैन्य शक्ति के बीच संबंध और गहरे हैं।
News now from across different states of the country. Union Women and Child Development Minister Smriti Irani took part in a zonal meet to facilitate centre-state cooperation to achieve goals set by the ministry in Chandigarh on Saturday. The ministry has launched 3 new missions: Mission Saksham Anganwadi and Poshan 2.0, Mission Shakti and Mission Vatsalya, to ensure the overall well-being and holistic development of women as well as children. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, along with Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, visited Sabarmati Ashram on Saturday. Both Aam Aadmi Party leaders signed the visitors' book at the ashram. Kejriwal and Mann are on a 2-day visit to Gujarat. BJP leaders met in Haryana after the Punjab Assembly passed a resolution to include Chandigarh in Punjab. Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar said the leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party must apologise for unnecessarily raking up the issue. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister and DMK Party President M.K. Stalin inaugurated his party's new office, Anna Kalaignar Ariyavalam, in Delhi. Many dignitaries of the party were also present on the occasion. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath launched the infectious disease control campaign in Siddharthnagar. He said prevention is important than the treatment of the disease, and the awareness program is a means to prepare us for it. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami increased the honorarium of Safai Karmcharis to 500 rupees per day. About 6,000 workers will get the benefit, for which the government will bear an additional annual expenditure of 4,038 lakh 12,000 rupees in fact. And in the northeast, Assam will open 100 new higher secondary schools in the tea gardens of the state. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said the state has 800 tea gardens. School buildings have been built in 100 tea gardens. These schools will be opened from the 10th of May. A tripartite agreement was signed between Indian Oil Corporation, Deen Dayal Jan Seva Pratishthan and GSIDC for the construction of integrated Deen Dayal Healthcare Hospital in the presence of Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant. The hospital will provide Ayurvedic medicines and treatment. Odisha has launched an online portal for disbursement of incentives under the Odisha Electric Vehicle Policy 2021. Under this, subsidy of electric vehicles purchased after the 1st of September 2021 will be distributed directly to vehicle owners through the portal. Moving on, President Ramnath Kovind on Saturday held delegation-level talks with President Sardar Bardi Mohammad in Turkmenistan's capital, Ashgabat. Both heads of state discussed bilateral relations and also exchanged views on various issues of regional and international importance. Both countries signed 4 agreements for cooperation in fields that included disaster management and financial information.
Cooperation in energy was one of the key areas of our discussions today. On the Tapi pipeline, I suggested that issues related to security of the pipeline and key business principles may be addressed in technical and expert level meetings.
And with that, time for a short break here. But on the other side, we'll take you to the Tulip Festival, which is currently underway at one of the largest tulip gardens in Asia. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
वाइब्रेंट भारत केवल एक सांस्कृतिक कार्यक्रम नहीं,
देश की संस्कृति, विरासत और इतिहास का आईना भी है।
मनोरंजन के साथ साथ ज्ञानवर्धन।
त्योहारों, उत्सवों और कार्यक्रमों के जरिए
जोड़ता है देश की संस्कृति से।
संस्कृति, कला और साहित्य से जुड़ी और भी कई बातें। देखिए वाइब्रेंट भारत, रविवार रात 9:30 बजे सिर्फ संसद टीवी पर।
Thanks for staying with us on the news. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla on Saturday inaugurated the Ram Shante Organic Farming Training Centre in Kota. Addressing the occasion, he asserted that the measures launched by the government are shaping a modern agricultural ecosystem in the country. Speaker Birla also expressed happiness that Prime Minister Modi launched the country's soil health card scheme from Suratgarh in Rajasthan. Also acknowledging the role of farmers in the green revolution, Birla emphasized the need to look for organic alternatives.
औषधियाँ, फूल, मेड़ों पर पेड़, ऊपर छप्पर पर सब्जियां, सब्जियों के बीज, अच्छी क्वालिटी के बीज, अपने पैदा करे हुए बीज, बिना फर्टिलाइजर के, बिना दवा के, ये यहां पर अनुसंधान और प्रायोगिक रूप से देखने का एक केंद्र बना है. इसके लिए मैं शुभकामना देता हूं.
News now from the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. As Russian forces have started concentrating on eastern side of the battle, the real picture of the devastation is emerging from cities of Mariupol, Mykolaiv and also the suburbs of Kiev. Neighborhoods have turned into piles of debris and cities have become ghost towns. Here's a report.
Red Cross buses leaving Mariupol after getting assurance of safe passage from Ukraine and Russian forces. Residents left behind are searching for lives in the piles of rubble. Mariupol is the site of the worst tragedy in which shelling on a city theatre left at least 300 people dead and many injured. 160,000 people are still left in the city without water, food, electricity or medicine. Russia has denied the bombing. The site near the capital city Kyiv is no different. Bombed out residential houses indicate that civilians were deliberately targeted. Although there are no enemy soldiers, people are afraid to step out because of live ammunition. This resident of Mykolaiv says she fears bombs can explode anytime and kill someone. This week, Mykolaiv's administration building was targeted. So far, 33 bodies have been recovered. Authorities says more people are missing. Ukrainian President Zelensky says Russian forces are massing in the Donbas region in the east for a push north towards Kharkiv, a city already battered by shelling. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
On to the other big global story of the day. Neighbouring Sri Lanka has declared a state of emergency a day after hundreds of people tried to storm the president's house in anger over a prevailing economic crisis in the country. Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa issued an extraordinary gazette yesterday declaring the public emergency with immediate effect.
The Sri Lankan president on Friday declared public emergency in the island country. A gazette notification said the step is aimed at the protection of public order and maintenance of essential supplies and services. It also invoked laws allowing the military to arrest and detain suspects. Dozens were arrested in Sri Lanka after Thursday's protest near the president's house. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's office blamed organized extremists among the protesters for violence on Thursday night. Crowds stoned 2 army buses that were used to block the protesters. Several vehicles were burned. Sri Lanka is facing dwindling foreign reserves combined with huge debt obligations. Escalating cost of imports has caused a fuel crisis and resultant shortages. According to the central bank, inflation rose to 17.5% in February. It is expected to rise further because of Sri Lanka's free-floating currency. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
In some other global updates, China assured the European Union it will seek peace in Ukraine, but it resisted pressure to adopt a tougher stance in Russia. In the first China-EU summit in 2 years, Premier Li Keqiang told EU leaders that Beijing will push for peace in its own way, even as the EU told Beijing not to allow Moscow to circumvent Western sanctions over the Ukraine invasion. Tunisian police summoned the country's main opposition figure for questioning on Friday. This followed President Qais Saeed calling for an investigation into an online session called by members of parliament, defying his order dissolving the parliament. Rashid Ghanouchi, Speaker of the dissolved parliament, was accused of plotting against state security. At least 30 parliamentarians were questioned. Israeli security forces killed 3 Palestinian men in the occupied West Bank. The Israeli police said the armed men were killed in a shootout. Palestinians at the scene reported on social media that the Israeli forces denied access to paramedics after 3 resistance fighters were killed at Araba Junction to the south of Jenin in the West Bank. Amazon workers in New York voted to unionize on Friday, marking the first successful U.S. organizing effort in the retail giant's history. Warehouse workers cast 55% votes in favor of a union. About 57% of the more than 8,300 workers on the voter list cast their ballots. Actor Will Smith resigned on Friday from the Motion Picture Academy following his Oscars night slap of comedian Chris Rock. He said he will accept any further punishment the organization imposed on him. In a statement, Smith said he will fully accept any and all consequences for his conduct at the 94th Academy Awards presentation that he called were shocking, painful and inexcusable. Let's now take a look at what's making news in the field of science and technology. It looks and feels like leather, but it's vegan and totally plastic-free. A US biotech company says reishi, made from mycelium, is set to become the go-to alternative for luxury leather goods. A California biotech company has created what it calls mushroom leather, made from mycelium, the root-like part of a fungus. It claims that in the not-too-distant future, luxury handbags could be made of this natural plastic-free alternative leather. Mycelium can grow in different thicknesses and can also grow around other products like the synthetic fiber Kevlar. Mushroom leather or reishi looks like every possible color and texture of leather hide. Luxury brand Hermes is expected to release a version of one of its iconic handbags using reishi later in the year. Mushroom leather is not the only effort to harness natural materials to provide an animal-free alternative to leather, but its makers are promising that the present technology could be the go-to material for a growing number of consumers that are looking for harm-free materials. Bureau Report, Sansad TV. And it's time now for all the sporting action. The ICC Women's World Cup final will be played tomorrow between Australia and defending champions England at the Hagley Oval in Christchurch. Despite having won 10 of the previous 11 World Cups between them, England and Australia will face off in an ICC Women's Cricket World Cup final for the first time in 34 years. Australia is the informed team, having beaten all opponents, including England, mostly with huge margins en route their final. England, on the other hand, has had to make an epic comeback, having lost its first 3 matches in the tournament. The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended good wishes to Team Australia before their final match. Gujarat Titans are facing Delhi Capitals in the 10th match of IPL 2022. Both teams have won their first matches. Delhi beat Mumbai Indians while Gujarat collected all points against fellow new entrants Lucknow Super Giants. The match is being played in Pune's Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium. In the first match played today, Rajasthan Royals defeated 5-time champion Mumbai Indians by 23 runs. Rajasthan's opener Jos Buttler became the first batsman to score a century in IPL this year, scoring exactly 100 runs off 68 balls. Rajasthan Royals gave Mumbai Indians a target of 194 to win. Mumbai Indians could reach 170 for the loss of 8 wickets. This is the second successive win for Rajasthan, while Mumbai has lost both its matches so far. Moving to tennis, 18-year-old Carlos Alcaraz has become the 4th youngest finalist at the Masters 1000 level by reaching the title round of the 2022 Miami Open. This is the Spaniard's biggest final of his career, where he'll take on world number 1, Casper Ruud of Norway for the title. In the semi-final, Alcaraz beat Hubert Hurkacz of Poland 7-6, 7-6, while Ruud beat Francisco Cerundolo of Argentina 6-4, 6-1. In the women's final at the Miami Open, Iga Swiatek will take on Naomi Osaka. This will be the first match since the two met for the first time at Toronto back in 2019, where Osaka had won 7-6, 6-4. In the semi-finals, Swiatek beat America's Jessica Pegula 6-2, 7-5. Osaka had a much difficult semi-finals against Switzerland's Belinda Bencic, overcoming her in 3 sets, 4-6, 6-3, 6-4. And India got their FIH Junior Women's World Cup campaign off to a solid start, winning 5-1 against Wales. Lalrindiki scored a brace for the Indians. The other scorers included Lalrem Siami, Mumtaz Khan and Deepika. The President, the Vice President and the Prime Minister, also the Speaker of Lok Sabha, have extended best wishes on Chaitra Shukladi, Ugadi, Gudi Parv, Cheti Chand and Navre that are being celebrated across the country today. Attending the celebrations on the Telugu New Year Ugadi in Hyderabad, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu stressed the need to protect the culture and heritage of the country. The day also marks the start of Chaitra Navratri. While Nav Samvatsar and Navratri are being celebrated in many parts of the country, people in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka are starting their new year with Ugadi. Maharashtra and Goa celebrate the festival of Gudi Parva, while Navre marks the start of the Kashmiri New Year. Well, it's bloom season at one of Asia's largest tulip gardens in Kashmir. Due to a continuous low number of COVID-19 cases in India, thousands of tourists are now visiting the garden where more than 1.5 million tulips, hyacinths and also daffodils are on display.
A sea of colorful flowers is spreading over 30 hectares welcomes visitors at the famed Indira Gandhi Memorial Tulip Garden in Srinagar. This year, more than 60 varieties of a total of 1.5 million flowers are on display. It is a much-awaited visual treat for tourists who are coming in droves due to the lull in the COVID-19 pandemic. The tourism industry took a massive hit over the last 2 years of the pandemic when severe restrictions on movement were put in place. But it is not just tourists that come to view the bloom spectacle each year. Local residents in Kashmir are also enjoying the sense of serenity that the flowers invoke. But despite the hard work and effort, some tulips are wilting under unusually high temperatures during the current spring season. North India is experiencing a higher than usual number of heat waves this year. With the Indian Meteorological Department forecasting more heat waves in April, people can visit the Tulip Festival in Srinagar until the last week of April. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
And before we wrap up the bulletin, a quick relook at the top stories. India and Nepal signed 4 agreements. RuPay card launched in Nepal. Rail travel between Jayanagar in Bihar and Kurtha in Nepal also flagged off. India and Australia conclude interim trade agreement. Thousands of Indian products to get duty-free access. Prime Minister Modi calls both nations natural partners. Summit meet between President Ramnath Kovind and Turkmenistan President in Ashgabat. 4 agreements including cooperation on disaster management signed. Sri Lankan President declares emergency in the wake of demonstrations over economic crisis in the country. Bail granted to 21 of 54 arrested protesters. And the President, the Vice President and the Prime Minister greet people on Ugadi, Gudi Parva, Chaitra Shukladi and Cheti Chand. Wish everyone good health and progress at the start of the Hindu New Year. So that's it from us in this bulletin. Thank you for your time.